Okay, time for some trig solving. I'm sorry they're a wee bit bloody, those questions. I hope you can see that okay. I'll make sure I write the question down so you can see. So we're solving 2 tan x plus 5 is equal to -4. That's what we've got to solve. Now, first of all, just imagine that that is 2x plus 5 is equal to -4. If someone says I was solving that, so what I've done here is I've said, right, forget tan x. Imagine it was just x, okay? How would you solve that? Well, you would do your BODMAS in reverse. So you would take away 5 from both sides, so you get -9, and then you would divide by 2. So you get -9 over 2. Nice and easy, yeah? You're doing the exact same thing with tan x. So 2 tan x is equal to -9. So tan x is -9 over 2. So your first step is just a basic solve, and usually they're in this form. They're not much different to this form. So if you can do this question, I guarantee you can do like all of them, you know. So the first thing you're going to do is solve it. The tricky bit is to do the inverse or the shift. Okay. At this point, I'm saying that x, so to get rid of tan, I can't divide by tan. It's a function. I can't divide or multiply. I need to do the inverse tan. So it's tan to the -1, 9 over 2. And that's because we always use a positive value in here. Always, always, always. That's going to give me, so get your calculator out. So you do your shift tan, which is, how we do it in the calculator, but tan to the -1 means the inverse. So we're doing the opposite of the tan function. 9 divided by 2. And that comes out as 77.5 degrees. And make sure your calculator says D at the top. Okay, it's in degrees. We're not working with radians. I think that'll be next year. So once you've done that, okay, step 3, we need to figure out what our actual answers are, because, and I'll draw a graph for this afterwards, because we don't just want this answer, because that's the positive answer, for example, and we're actually looking for the negative answer. So you draw out your cast diagram, okay, and that's x. You have to remember this, so if you don't remember it, commit it to memory now. And 360 take away x. So I call this quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. And this is where everything is positive. This is where sine is only positive, tan is only positive, and cos is only positive. So what I'm saying is, what am I looking for? I've got a tan function, okay. My tan function is negative. I've worked out this x value, this kind of starter for 10 number. This is our stepping stone, but I don't want that. I actually want to know where's tan negative. So they're all positive here, sine's positive here, cos is positive here, and tan is positive here. So tan is positive here and here. So actually I'm looking for this quadrant and this quadrant, because that's where it's negative. So I'm going to say, right, I've got a quadrant 2 answer and a quadrant 4 answer. So quadrant 2 is 180 take away 77.5, and quadrant 4 is 360 take away 77.5. So I'll just, quadrant 3, I'm going to call that your cast diagram, and then section 4, this is your answers. So 180 take away 77.5, you've got 102.5 degrees, and 360 take away 77.5, you've got 282.5. Yeah, fantastic. So 4 steps here. Do your solve just as you would for a very basic question. Inverse of the function, and you always want this positive. And then you do your cast diagram to decide, well, what are my 2 answers going to be? Well, here we want it to be where tan was negative, so it's these 2 quadrants, and then answer the question. And look, I'll just show you why the cast diagram is the case. So give me a sec to draw this. Okay, so this is my best effort at drawing the tan graph. The blue is the sine graph, and the green is the cos graph. Okay, so just to explain this little diagram a tiny bit more. So let's do our quadrants. Okay, the quadrants occur every 90 degrees. So here's quadrant 1. Okay. Quadrant 2, so that's 180 degrees. Again, excuse my drawings are not perfect. And then quadrant 3, that's at 270. Okay, so quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. And all we're doing is we're saying, okay, above this line, we're positive, below we're negative. So in quadrant 1, everything's positive. In quadrant 2, it's the sign's positive, so that's why we've got S. In quadrant 3, look, there's tan's positive, so we've got T. And in quadrant 4, we've got cos is positive, so just C. Yeah. So when we said where is tan negative 9.2, so negative 9.2, that's what, 4.5? So you're saying where is tan negative 4.5? Now, tan's not the best one because these go up to, I've drawn this up to 1 and negative 1, But say negative 4.5 is, down here somewhere, But you can see here it's going to be, if I was to go to negative 4.5 and draw along, I'm going to meet up with this asymptote, so that's quadrant 2, and this one here as well, which is in quadrant 4. So this is just a really handy way of helping us take bits off the graph. For example, if we've got, where is sine x? Where is sine x negative a half? Okay, well there's sine x, negative half is in here, so it's in here and here, quadrants 3 and 4. Yeah, it's positive there, negative there. So it's a really handy way of not having to do this every single time. Okay, so memorize this, and you've just got 4 steps. Rearrange, shift, cast, and then your 2 answers. 4 marks for these questions, usually 3 or 4 marks. Really good questions to do. Let's see if we can do one more. So step 1. Step 1, I'll write it because I'm sorry, it's still a bit blurry. So I'm just going to do this in one step. In fact, no, I won't, I'll take my time. Negative 1. So that's step 1. Step 2. So cos x. Cos negative 1 of positive a fifth. Okay. Always want that to be positive. So if I do shift cos, or the inverse of cos, 1 divided by, that's going to give me 78.5 degrees. And then I'm going to go and do my cast diagram. So I need to ask myself the question, where is cos negative? That's what I'm looking for, yeah? Where is cos negative on here? Well, it's positive here and here. So I'm going to look in quadrant 2 and quadrant 3. So that's x take away, sorry, it's 180 take away x. And that's 180 plus x. So final answer, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and I'm doing 180, take away my 78.5, and I'm doing 180 plus my 78.5. So 180, take away 78.5, 101.5 degrees, don't forget your degrees, and 180 plus 78.5, 258.5. Nice, isn't it? That's the exact same as what I did before without so much chat. But this is positive, this is a nice rearrange, and you need to remember this. Simple as that. And then you get your 2 answers that you spit out. Yeah. I've got time for just one more actually. Okay, let's do this because it's not quite a solve, it's a graph one. So this one is saying when cos is 60 is a half, what's 240? Okay, well, that's a little bit of, to me, graph work. Okay, so this is 180 degrees at the minimum. That's my 90, that's my 270. So they're saying cos of 60 is a half. So they're saying, okay, that's 1 and negative 1. So a half would be in here. They're saying that cos of 60 is a half. So what's the value of cos of 240? Well, if I was to draw a line over here, yeah, that is also 240, isn't it? Because this is the same on both sides. You see here, we're 30 before the 0. Here, sorry, I'm drawing that a bit poorly. Sorry, let me just redraw that. Okay, so I'd look at that and find, right, 30 before the 0 is a half, so 30 after this 0 point would be a half as well, but that's 300. So we're actually looking for 240, which would be about here, which is 30 degrees before this. So we're saying, well, what's going to be 30 degrees after this? That'll be 120 in there. And that is also going to be negative a half. If you've got, I'll do this on the next video. We'll finish this off in the next video.